Dope hypeness levels exceeding human capacity. English language failure. No longer speaking sentences. This book is so good. It's kind of brain meltingly good. Now, you're thinking, yeah, Elizibar, don't you just say it's like a standard adventure? Yeah, it's a standard fantasy adventure. And it's great. I have zero complaints about anything in this book. The pacing, wonderful. I mean, like right here, we start off, and I complain about decompression, right? We start off decompressing. But the whole time we're decompressing, we're advancing the plot. We learn things about Gogor. She actually gets some leaves off of him and makes tea out of him, which since our main character kind of on a little fun, she gives him this cool rock skiff thing, and they go journeying. And as they're journeying, they get waylaid by the lizard man, and the fight sequence is excellent. Oh, the witch lady at the beginning. that's that's not her name, but the witch lady at the beginning. She's like, Gogor can regenerate anything except his bones, right? Right? So if you've ever done any kind of serious fiction work or sat down to read how drama has to unfold, there's this concept called Chekhov's gun. And what that means is if you're writing a play, because Anton Chekhov was a playwright, most famously he wrote Cherry Trees, which I was involved in productions of Coffee Trees by Arthur Jerome, which sort of cherry trees transplanted to. You don't care. You don't care. Anyway, if you put something out there, say, hey, there's a gun over the mantle. That gun had better get used at some point in the story. If it doesn't get used at some point in the story, it's not going to pay off. Anything you seed in the story should either pay off, since this is potentially a long narrative fiction, it doesn't have to pay off necessarily in that story, this issue, but it has to pay off down the line. Otherwise, it was a waste to include it. And so, what does that fact mean? That means when he's fighting the lizard man, or Gogor is fighting the lizard man, uh, the lizard man totally yanks out one of his bones. Now, I'm not going to spoil the whole fight because it's absolutely fantastic. Everything about the fight is gorgeous, from the coloring to the panel layouts. It's full of energy. It's full of power. There's menace, threat, surprise. The exposition when there's dialogue. Okay, I admit some of this stuff with him and the old dude I kind of glossed over, but when he's talking to Witch Lady back here, it's all excellent stuff. Her, narration, when somebody's just telling you about the world, it can be really boring. Here, it's not boring at all. It's pretty darn interesting. Learning more about this strange world with all these floating islands, how Gogor fits into it. This is necessary. You have to get it. And it's delivered in such a way that you relax with the main character here. This is probably the top of the second page. You relax, you let your guard down, and this information just flows right off the page into your brain, unimpeded. It's great stuff. Ken Gehring, I hope I pronounced his name right. Uh, I'm not going to say it's a masterpiece, but it's one of the most satisfying fantasy stories I have read. That's one of the most one of the most fantasy satisfying. No, it's one of the most satisfying fantasy comic books I've ever read. This is way up there. I could see this becoming a very nice movie. It's too bad Jim Henson's dead, because this movie deserves the Dark Crystal treatment with lots of great physical props and effects and very little CGI. Can you imagine this thing animated as uh, an awesome puppet work? All the leaves and stuff moving around. It would be pretty dope. I can see it in my mind, and it's beautiful and amazing. I can kind of see this whole book moving in my mind when I read it, because it really is beautiful and amazing. I give so many props to Gogor, I can't even. You should check this out now if you haven't checked it out yet. Super recommend. I don't even care what the price is. Whatever it is, pay it. It's worth it.